It's truly a wonderful and a beautiful thing that we can get together and that we could hear the divine words that is written in this book. Yahweh God tells us everything to ripen us as righteous people coming into the circumstances of the world. It is truly a great and wonderful thing when we can open up this book that is called a Tanakh, because it has other books involved in it, and that we will be able to decipher the absolute truth. It is an amazing and wonderful accomplishment that can only be given to us by Yahweh himself. Before we have this prayer, I would like to read something that is in the Psalms, because it's relative to our growth as a people, letting us know who has done it. Psalm 78, starting at verse 6. Makes an awesome statement of reality to where we are now. And how do you find out things? Many times you have to live it. You have to live it to give, it gives it understanding that in years to come, or months to come, or days to come, you can turn around and bear witness to that truth. So can we look at Psalm 78 verse 6.
That the generation to come might know them, even the children which shall be born. Who should arise and declare them to their children?
That's right. It said, who? Which one shall arise to tell these things? Because evidently it would be forgotten. Who shall arise and declare them to their children? What it said?
That they might set their hope in Allahayah, and not forget the works of Allahayah, but keep his commandments, and might not be as their fathers, a stubborn and rebellious generation, a generation that set not their heart aright, and whose spirit was not steadfast with God.
With Allahayah. So we can see that Yahweh God is encouraging a rejuvenation of a truth, so that the people that it pertains to might rise again in this truth and might come away from being that generation that did not listen. And Yahweh God works with them so that they might become that absolute clean generation that can only be clean by the word of Yahweh God. And he said, who shall arise and declare these things to their children, that they will declare the works of their God, so that they will not be a stubborn and rebellious generation. And as it goes on in Isaiah 28, verse 9, as Yahweh says here, it says that they might make, that they might set their hearts aright. Who shall arise and declare them to their children, that they might set their hope in Allahayah, and not forget the works of Allahayah, but keep his commandments. And it says here in Isaiah 28, starting at verse 9, what it says?
Whom shall he teach knowledge? And whom shall he make to understand doctrine? Them that are weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast. For precept must be upon precept, line upon line, line upon line, here a little and there a little. For with slammering lips and another tongue would he speak to his people. To whom he said, this is the rest wherewith ye may cause the weary to rest. And this is the refreshing, yet they would not hear. But the word of Yahweh was unto them precept upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, line upon line, here a little and there a little, that they might go and fall backward and be broken, and snared, and taken.
That's right. See, if you do not adhere to the rules and regulations, to how this book is put together, then you will get misinformation, and therefore you will deter them from knowing the truth as what the truth is. And therefore it has to be done exactly as it has been stated, precept upon precept, line upon line. What? Here a little and there a little. And therefore, in so doing, you come to where you have a measure of judgment, to where, as it says here in Isaiah 8, verse 20, Isaiah chapter 8, verse 20. These things are so true because they give you an absolute line of reference so that you can't make a mistake. And therefore, when people come to you to give you false direction or giving you something that is false and without the true understanding, because they're going to give you misleading information, because it is designed that you get a little here, a little there. It is designed that way. That's why we turn from page to page. It's not all straight. And how we hook the precepts together and the lines together, and here a little and there a little, making it clear to us, because Yahweh God has put that spirit in us. And what does it say? Isaiah chapter 8, verse 20.
To the law and to the testimony, if they speak not according to this word, it is because there is no light in them.
Yes, because the law and the testimony, as it says in Psalm 78, verse 5, for he established a testimony in Jacob, and appointing a law or a Torah in Israel, which he has commanded our fathers, that they should make them known to their children, that the generation to come might know them, even the children which should be born. Who shall arise and declare them to their children, that they might set their hope in Elohim, and not forget the works of Elohim, but keep his commandments, and might not be as their fathers, a stubborn and rebellious generation, a generation that set not their hearts aright, and whose spirit was not stood fast with Elohim. And therefore, it says, if they do not come, it said, to the Torah, to the law, and to the testimony that was only given to the children of Israel. And see, and he says here, that to this law and to this testimony that was only given to the children of Israel, he said, if they come not with this, it's because there is no light in them. They can't teach you anything. You understand? It says, if they speak not according to this word, it's because there is no what? Light in them. Why? To the law and the testimony, it is to keep you informed in keeping of the commandments of Yahweh. So with that, may we go into prayer and come back and do our lesson that is here. Yahweh God, we thank you upon Shabbat. We thank you for the golden opportunity that we might pray and that we may set our life right. And all our errors and misfortune, Yahweh, it is to teach us to depend and to trust on you. Yahweh God, we thank you because truly the Shabbat is a sign between me and you, between Israel and you. Yahweh God, as it has been stated, for Israel seeks a sign that was already given to them, and that is the Torah. If they broke it, they would go into captivity. This is a truly an awesome and truly a suffering captivity, because we have been taken off of our continent, off of the land that our ancestors roamed, and we were thrown into a land of darkness and affliction. It wasn't slavery. It was the violence and the continuous violence. But the Ku Klux Klan has heaped upon us and the structure that has come down to this day. It has been oppressing upon the people, and it's truly we are being eaten up in the land of our enemy. And who has been more vicious towards us than our brother Esau? Yahweh God, who is God, may your name be ever praised, and may we love thee with a perfect love. For in the day of our affliction, in the day that we have mourned, and thou have heard our cry, as thou said, I have come down because I've heard them. I've remembered the covenant. I would not abhor them to break my covenant. Such beautiful words that we have read. Such awesome words that have strengthened us in these days. That we might read upon with stammering lips and another tongue. Truly you speak to us. But you have given us the spirit of discernment, that we truly will behold wondrous things in thy Torah and the Tanakh. May Yahweh's name be ever praised. May we love our God eternally. Amen.
Amen.
So, as we go forward, we want to start out in Isaiah chapter 55. Isaiah chapter 55. And this has to be made very clear. Isaiah chapter 55, verse 6. Yahweh says to you, because there's a time and there's a situation to bring about results and things, and Yahweh said, what?
Seek ye the Elohim while he may be found. Call ye upon him while he is near.
Because Yahweh God is telling you, he said there's a time where you will be able to acquire my presence and know of my existence. He said, that's why he said, seek ye Yahweh while he may be found. And Yahweh says something assuring, because many times people say, oh, if I seek him, that don't mean I'm going to find him. But Yahweh, let's go to Jeremiah 29, verse 13. Because Yahweh, this is not a game. Yahweh wants to make it confirm to you that if you do these things, it will not be done in vain. Jeremiah 29, verse 13.
And ye shall seek me and find me, when ye shall search for me with all your heart.
Yeah, see, Yahweh say, you will find me when you seek for me with all your heart. Because you will understand your relationship to him. And that's why in Deuteronomy chapter 28, he makes it clear to you on the circumstances that will prevail, that this will be executed to your benefit. And therefore, when he says to you, at Deuteronomy chapter 30, starting verse 1. Okay?
30 verse 21.
Verse 1.
And it shall come to pass, when all these things are come upon thee, the blessing and the curse which I have set before thee, and thou shalt call them to mind among all the nations, whether the Elohim thy Yahweh hath driven thee, and shall return unto the Elohim thy Yahweh, and shalt obey his voice according to all that I command thee this day, thou and thy children, with all thine heart and with all thy soul. That then the Elohim thy Yahweh will turn thy captivity and have compassion upon thee, and will return and gather thee from all the nations, whether the Elohim thy Yahweh
Has scattered thee.
scattered thee.
It didn't say he going to gather you from every religion. It didn't mention none. He said from every nation. Because a religion is a neutral point that everybody can merge into. Israel is a blood right. This like you've been born in a family, that's your blood right. Israel is not a religion. It is a people that came and that occupied a particular land mass, a particular location on that land mass. And Yahweh God made them a nation. He never made them a religion. And he gave them traditions and customs of keeping of the Shabbat, of blowing of Pesach, and all the other holidays. It was the verification that they would ever do year by year to totally confirm their total commitment to serving Yahweh God. And Yahweh God today, because he said, a remnant shall return, though Israel be as the sands of the sea, only a remnant. And that remnant is in place. And therefore, as it says in the same chapter, Deuteronomy chapter 30, I'm going down to verse 6, and Yahweh thy God will circumcise thy heart, and the heart of thy seed, to love Yahweh thy God with all thy heart and with all thy soul, that thou mayest live. See, so in the circumcision of keeping the commandments of Yahweh God is our life. And so Yahweh wants us to live, because we ain't gonna die. There's no death in righteousness. You understand? So we shouldn't fear about death. We should fear not to serve Yahweh. That's death. When we stop serving, we must serve Yahweh God, because we in the land that doesn't make it easy for us to do it. We must make an attempt to do what we can do, and the Ruach will see. We'll bring that into our determination. Will bring it into total volition by which we will be able to execute it properly. Keeping of the Shabbat, keeping of Pesach, Yom Kippur, and the other holidays, even the new moon. We should learn about that. Anyway, and Yahweh thy God will put all these curses upon thy enemies. See? All these curses, or the affliction, is going to be put on our enemies, and on them that hate thee, which persecute thee. And thou shalt return and obey the voice of Yahweh, and do all his commandment which I command thee this day. And Yahweh thy God will make thee plentiful in every work of thy hand, in the fruit of thy body, in the fruit of thy cattle, in the fruit of thy land, for good. For Yahweh will again rejoice over thee for good, as he rejoiced over thy father. See, so we will return, and we have. And our commitment to keep the Shabbat, and our commitment to be conscious of who we are, so that we may observe the commandments of Yahweh God. We stand in the midst, as it says in Psalm 91. We go to Psalm 91, and it tells you that you are going to be in the midst and see an awesome work of Yahweh take place. You understand? And it says here, Psalm 91, and therefore it says, and thou shalt behold the reward of the wicked. It says, and 1,000 shall fall at thy side, I'm on verse 7, and 10,000 at thy right hand, but it shall not come nigh unto thee. Only with thy eyes shalt thou behold and see the reward of the wicked. See, we're going to see these things. We're going to be in the midst to see these things. And this is why Yahweh, 1,000 shall fall at thy side. Boom, boom, boom. You're going to see it. And it said, and 10,000 at thy right hand. But it shall not come nigh thee. Only with thy eyes shall thou behold and see the reward of the wicked. Because thou hast made Yahweh, which is my refuge, even the Most High, thy habitation. There shall no evil befall thee, neither shall any plague come nigh thy dwelling. For he shall give his angels charge over thee, to keep thee in thy way. They shall bear thee up in their hands, lest thou dash thy feet against a stone. Thou shalt tread upon the lions and adders, the young lions, the dragons shall thou tread underfoot. Because he has set his love upon me, therefore I will deliver him. I will set him on high because he has known what? My name. He shall call upon me and I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble. I will deliver him and honor him with long life. Will I satisfy him and show him my salvation. Can't get no better than that. What is our fear if we are obedient to the commandments of Yahweh God? I would like to explain to you that as it is said here, in this world that we live in, giving us substance to a reality of a truth. Let's go to 1 Corinthians, because Yahweh is working the work, and I'd like to show you the cross-reference that Yahweh God is doing. 1 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 27. 1 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 27. Okay.
But God hath chose the
Foolish
things of the
world
world of covenant
to confound
to confound the
wise.
wise, and God hath chosen the weak things of the world to confound the things which are mighty, and base things of the world, and things which are despised,
Hath
hath God chose, yea, and things which are not to bring to
naught.
things that are.
Okay, so he says, but Allahayimah has chosen the foolish things of the world to confound the wise, and Allahayimah has chosen the weak things of the world to confound the things which are mighty, and base things of the world and things which are despised has Allahayimah chosen, yea, and things which are not, to bring to naught things that are. So Yahweh God will take the very things that people are not looking at nor consider. Yahweh God will lift them up. And as it says here, because those that are wise in their own imagination, as it says in the book of Job, that Yahweh God understands the position of people that claim to be people of wisdom. Yahweh God puts them to shame because they're looking another way. Job chapter 5 verse 18, he said, he taketh the wise in his own craftiness, and the counsel of the forward is carried headlong. So he's going to take and disappoint the wise, and that they're going to fall in their misleading and their shiftiness and their craftiness that they use to misguide the people. Yahweh is going to use that very thing that they have put to deceive the people, is going to deceive them. He disappoint the device of the crafty, so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. He taketh the wise in their own craftiness, and the counsel of the forward is carried headlong. They meet with darkness in daytime, and grope in the noonday as in the night. But he saveth the poor from the sword, from their mouth, and from the hands of the mighty. So the poor has hope, and iniquity stops her mouth. So we can see that Yahweh God is going to do this great work in daytime when it's light. They're going to, in their wisdom that they feel is wiser than God, that they to set the circumstances against the people, it all going to fall and is not going to make any sense to them in the longest run, because Yahweh God is going to deal with them to where he's going to show it right before their face. And all their planning and all their misleading, they're only doing it to mislead themselves. I would like to, as I've introduced this lesson, I would like for us to start for the verification of truth, so that we might realize that Yahweh God is our God, and what we must do and what we must look for. Let's go to the book of Numbers. I want to show you what we miss is what we're looking for, but Yahweh God is a God that's going to teach us what this is about. It can't be stolen from you. Nobody can rob you of it. It's yours to have because it cometh from your God. You don't have to worry about, hey, is somebody going to, they can't take it. You can't buy it. It is something that is given because it is in the hands of Yahweh God to do that if he's so pleased. So let's go to Numbers chapter 6 and let's read and see that Yahweh God is telling us something. Let's go to Numbers chapter 6 and let's start at verse 24. What does it say?
Numbers chapter 6, 4.
Yeah, Numbers chapter 6 verse 24. Let's start there.
Yahweh bless thee and keep thee. Yahweh make his face shine upon thee and be gracious unto thee.
Okay, what he said, Yahweh make his face shine upon thee and be gracious to thee. I'm going up to 22 of that same chapter and reading down to 27. Go ahead.
And Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto Aaron and unto his sons, saying, On this wise ye shall bless the children of Israel, saying unto them, Yahweh bless thee and keep thee. Yahweh make his face shine upon thee and be gracious unto thee. Yahweh lift up his countenance upon thee and give thee peace. And they shall put my name upon the children of Israel, and I will bless them.
That's right. See, so we seek the shining light of the countenance of our God. That's why he says, and Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto Aaron and unto his sons, saying, On this wise ye shall what? That ye shall what? Bless my son Israel, saying unto them. And this was the benediction that only the priests, and let's go to Deuteronomy. And I want to say to you, this has been our downfall to this day. That Yahweh God, when he told us to do something, and I want to bring this into remembrance of you. That's why, Deuteronomy chapter 12, and I just want to bring this to you, because in Deuteronomy chapter 12, verse 19, it says, Take heed to yourselves that ye forsake not the Levites as long as they live upon the earth. He says, whatever you do, you take care of. Make sure that they are taken care of. That's why the Levites never had a portion in Israel. We were the keepers of them. we made them prosper because they had a right to the benediction. Nobody else had any right to that. No one could do it because he said, this is the wise that you will bless my son Israel. And therefore, in Deuteronomy 21, I wanted 21, verse 19.
Then shall his father and his mother lay hold on him.
Okay, I want to go to 5. The same chapter.
And the priests and the sons of Levi shall come near, for them Yahweh thy God hath chosen to minister unto him, and to bless in the name of Yahweh, and by their words shall every controversy and every stroke be tried.
Yeah, see, the priests had that authority. The priest could walk and a man was getting ready, he said no, he didn't do it, and they left. That priest was powerful. They did not want to do anything